What's up, everybody? Episode 500, Mom's Basement MMA. And joining me on episode 500 is welterweight contender Blake Perry ahead of his next fight at Cage Warriors 182. That'll be happening in December in San Diego. Mr. Perry, welcome to the program. Always a pleasure to have you. Episode 500. Glad we could link up for this one, man.
Dude, I'm fucking stoked as always to be here, especially episode 500, man. It's an honor coming full circle. Been super excited for this. So thank you for having me as always.
Blake, a lot of changes have been going on in your personal life since the last time I spoke with you. You've concluded your military service. Now you're a dirty scumbag civilian like the rest of us. Can you tell me, like, just making that transition from your military life into your new civilian life, have there been challenges with that? And how have you been managing all that change outside of the cage?
Yeah, man, it's been a huge change. I think majority for the better. All the changes. I'm in a really good headspace. I'm doing what I love all day, every day. I get to be a full-time fighter now, which is the dream, right? That's been the dream since the beginning. So just working, obviously training full-time, but then in between coaching classes, coaching privates, doing the whole fighter coach life, that 90% of fighters do to make ends meet, doing the classic, coaching classes and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I get to wake up every single day, do what I love from sun up to sundown. And it's pretty much on my own accord. I can schedule as much or as little as I need for the day. And I don't have to request leave if I want to go see my family. And things are good, bro. It's been really good mentally to not only lock into my own something I love, fighting, and also even my personal life. I would say it's been better for just relationships in general. You know what I mean? Just being able to make time when I need to, and I don't have to run it through anyone to do that. So it's been awesome, bro.
Well, Blake, we are on the eve of Veterans Day. So, first and foremost, thank you for your service. But I will ask the question. I think other people might be able to benefit from it. So, like, for me, when I was getting ready to get out of the military, now that was back in 2009, so that was a long time ago. I had like a lot of anxiety about getting out. It was a very stressful period in my life. And like, were you anxious at all? Like, were you stressed out about getting out of the military and adjusting to this like new way of life? Like, were there things that you've learned that other soon-to-be veterans might be able to, use to
Yeah,
reduce
dude,
that anxiety?
fuck, that's so true, man. Because like, I would be lying if I said no. Like, oh, I knew getting out was a great choice and everything's gonna be fucking roses. Definitely not. I had a lot of anxiety. And I did for the first probably 3-4 months, especially kind of the unknown of. I mean, it's the military is. It's funny because it's people not in the military are always like, man, it's such this valiant thing to do, and thank you for your service, and it's this big grown up thing you're doing, blah blah blah. When in reality, it's not, dude. You're a kid, bro. You know what I mean? Like for 7 years, I never had to worry about anything financial. I never had to worry about bills. I never had to worry about money for rent for years in the dorms, electricity, food. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that I really didn't realize until getting out. Like, oh, fuck, I'm 30 and I don't know things that 20-year-olds should know. You know what I'm saying? Because it's funny because, like I said, it gets all this credit and it is great to an extent. I'm not knocking. I mean, I it was cool, but you don't have to think about shit on your own. You know what I mean? It's show up here at this time, do your job. That's it. You know what I mean? Don't do any extra. Don't do any less. Fucking
And
do
they
this.
schedule your dental appointments for you too.
Okay, exactly. Right. Things like that. Things like health insurance. Things like dental appointment, doctors, ER visits. Right. Like anytime. And I would be hurt or little shit, whatever, from fighting when I was in. It was never a question of like, what ER? Do they take my insurance? This and that. It was like, oh, go on base to the ER, get everything fixed for free, always 24/7. Medical bills don't exist. They're not real. Right. And now shit like that getting out, I'm like, oh shit, like California's not cheap. I need to like be smart. You know what I mean? Like, so just stuff like that. Like, I would say the biggest change for me is like grown up stuff when it comes to retirements, right? Like retirement, bills, finances, just stuff like that, you know, because like it's just shit that I honestly never thought about, you know, like medical healthcare and stuff that I was like, oh yeah, that's like old people shit. You know what I mean? I don't gotta worry about that. That's not real. And then, dude, get this, it is real.
It is. I know. Shocker of all shockers. It really is. Like
Yes,
there
dude.
is such a thing as like paying a copay at the doctor's office. I know.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? I had to ask again. They're like, yeah, like, do you have a copay? I was like,
A what?
no,
What?
no, no. I was like, this is an ER. It's free always. What do you? I was like, what do you mean? Here's my CAC. And they're like, this is like outdated. Like this isn't even a military facility. What the fuck do you want us to do to this? Yeah.
But we're learning, right? We're getting
We're
there.
learning. We're learning. Things are better now. They're settled because I've been out for a little bit now. And you know, things are settling down. I'm starting to learn, you know, some real life.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like, you know, like it's funny. We could look back at it and I can laugh at you a little bit because it's like, yeah, I remember going through all of that stuff you're talking about when I got out too.
Yeah,
like it's like an adjustment period where it's like it's a complete fish out of water experience, and you know, you kind of like almost need to have like a I don't know, a guide or something to be like, no, like, bro, like you need to pick like a not shit healthcare plan. And I know you've never done that before, but like these are the things you need to learn how to do. And yeah, you know, I was like, you know, in my late 20s trying to figure all that shit out, as you are. Bro, you're a little bit older than me when I got out. So yeah. Anyway, though, here we are.
But hey, man, we're making it work. And like I said, little by little, I'm learning how to be an adult at 30. So we're doing all right.
We're doing all right, indeed. Blake, shifting gears more into your fight life. Obviously, been some injuries that you've been having to deal with, and I know that's kind of derailed some plans as far as your MMA career has concerned. But you've also are the type of guy that's not going to sit on the sidelines. You're a guy that anytime a nobody's getting ready to go out there and fight, you're in the corner or you're in the stands watching. Can you tell me, like, how have you been scratching that whole fighting itch, being sidelined but being a good teammate over the past year and some change?
Dude, that's a super good point, man. Yeah, dude, I know it's cliche, but fuck, man, it's the name of the game, you know, and you choose to fist fight motherfuckers for a living, you know, you get hurt sometimes, bro. And unfortunately, I just had a kind of an unfortunate streak there for a little bit, for whatever reason, you know, whether it was, you know, bad luck, bad juju, fucking, I don't know, soft face bones, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah, no, it happened, you know, and I think too, shit, man, I know everyone's gonna say this. Anytime someone's tired or anytime someone's hurt or whatever, they're gonna come back and be like, you know, I'm better now than I was, you know. But fuck, man, I really did get better because I didn't slow up my training at all, man. I was training twice a day the whole year that I was sidelined, you know, because that's the good thing about a facial injury is you can train everything outside of getting hit. So honestly, man, in a weird way, I think it was almost good for me to take time of, yeah, there was a good significant amount of time I wasn't sparring, I wasn't getting hit in the face, right? But I was just really, really, really breaking down things that I need to work on, watching film, getting in plenty of physical work too, like, because, you know, that's the weird thing about injuries like that it's a lot different than a knee or a shoulder or back or something that's limiting you from training. I didn't have any of that. I could train full force as hard as I wanted. I just couldn't get hit in the face. You know what I mean? So I just really took a year to break down stuff and really look at where, you know, watching fights of myself, like, all right, if I'm fighting me, what am I thinking? Like, how am I going to beat me? Right? Like, if I'm watching this last Cage Warriors fight of me, if I'm watching whatever fight of mine, how am I looking at this? Like, oh man, he's sloppy here, or he doesn't do this great and he does it a lot. He doesn't, whatever. I'm going to exploit this. And I just really took a year of like, no hurt feelings, man. Like everything that I fucking need to work on, I want to hit it head on. I want people to tell me, and you know damn right, Sonny's gonna fucking tell me. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
I do.
And he does, bro. He does. So yeah, man, I just really, 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 really honed in this past year. And even if, I wasn't the dude under the lights, just fucking focusing on my own training on top of, like you said, man, I've been traveling a lot too this past year for cornering and just being there for the homies, whether it's being partners for them or cornering them in their fights, doing lots of even like private sessions and coaching people that don't want to be fighters, but stuff like that really helps break down little details that you kind of forget along the way, right? Because it's such day one stuff, but fast forward 8 years and you're like, oh fuck, like I kind of got away from that. You know what I mean? It's such a basic thing that in your own head, like you don't think you're above it, but subconsciously almost a little bit, right? Like you stop focusing on those things and you're like, oh shit, man, I need to like hone in on my basics. I'm over here preaching this stuff, but when I watch films of my fights, I'm not doing this or that. So anyway, long-winded answer as to yeah, been training a bunch even though I was hurt, and I'm feeling great now. Been sparring for months now and been feeling good. Yeah, getting to go to some pretty cool opportunities, getting a corner at some cool fights. Yeah, it's been cool, man.
Blake, I know for you, you pride yourself in being a freestyle fighter, but when I think of you and I look at like all the fights and I've seen all of them, I think you're exceptional with wrestling and with grappling as well. Like I would go as far as to say if I had a fighter going up against you, I would say keep it on the feet, don't wrestle this guy, don't grapple with this guy. He's deceptively technical. The last place you want to be on the ground is with this guy. Can you talk a little bit, Blake, about your wrestling and grappling in particular? That's just what I see watching the tape of you. I'm like, this guy's very good in the clinch. He's got a lot of different takedowns that he's capable of hitting. Do you feel like those areas in particular have like definitely ramped up over the course of the past 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, bro, for sure. And I think a reason that a lot of times dudes don't really think about that going into fights with me and stuff is because I really am an MMA fighter. You know what I mean? I don't have a ton of like jujitsu specific accolades. I don't have a bunch of wrestling accolades. I don't have, you know what I mean? But I'll finish fights with submissions all the time. I'll get takedowns. I got whatever. It's like, and I think at the end of the day, man, that's what matters. It's what you do in fights. I would rather not be whatever rank in jiu-jitsu, but I can't ever sub people when it matters in my fights. You know what I mean? So I think that's part of the reason too, is because on paper, in all those areas, I might not be, I don't have a lot of like paper accolades. However, my fights speak for themselves. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't a D1 All-American wrestler, and I'm not a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I'm a fucking winner. You know what I mean? I know that about myself, and I can pull it off on the feet, on the ground. And yeah, man, I would rather be that than, someone who is a D1 All-American and someone who is a high-level black belt, and I can't pull those things off in a fight, So I think that kind of speaks to just the well-rounded MMA aspect of it, like that's one thing I know about myself is, you can say whatever about certain techniques of mine or, certain striking, wrestling, grappling, whatever. I don't give a shit, dude. You know what I mean? I'm a winner. I know that about myself. That's one thing since I was a little kid, man. I'm gonna find a way to win when things are hard, and I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter at the end of the day. I love what I do, and I'm not afraid to get it grimy and fucking pull it out when shit sucks ass to be in there. You know what I mean?
Blake, that is 1,000,000% true. I mean, go through the fight film yourself. If you don't know who Blake is, just watch it for yourself, and you will agree that you are a grinder. You are a guy that likes to be in there, and you are a guy that isn't going to give up on yourself. Blake, serious injuries. And when you're rehabbing serious injuries, there's always like that awkward test out period. At what point after this latest injury that you had, did you start feeling like super confident? Like, yep, like zip those jabs at my face. Like, let's go.
It was like 30 minutes after surgery. No. In the hospital. No. So honestly, dude, I just listened to the doctor because most fighters have a tendency, including myself, to be like, this fucking guy, he doesn't know stuff. I can get back before that, right? I shouldn't even say fighters. Most guys, just men in general. Like, I'm sure when you go to the hospital, it's like, you're like, all right, but like, when am I really gonna be good? You know what I mean? Shit, that's like any guy on planet Earth. Like, first off, in order for you to even go to the doctors, you probably have to like ignore something for like a month before you're like, oh,
So
it's just
I've had like a sinus infection for probably like 10 days and I still haven't gone to the doctor.
yeah,
But you know,
that's not
other than
okay.
that though, I'm a pretty delicate flower compared to you.
Oh, no, but anyway, so I just really listened to him, man, and it's one of those things that it's not a super quick healing process, you know, especially, you know, for normal life, it healed fast. You know, it wasn't
Yeah.
like it was like fucking up my daily life. You know, I felt fine pretty soon after. However, getting hit in the face by trained fighters, you know, it took. I didn't start like sparring until probably it's been like a year after surgery. I think like right about like 6 months in, I started sparring with headgear. Um, and it was fine, you know, and nothing like crazy 6 months in. Like we weren't like fucking, you know, mixing it up sparring, but we were, you know, we were touching. And then right around probably 7 months after surgery, I really started to, because I was out for Christian Lee's camp in Hawaii. I was out there for like 3 weeks to a month, and they, you know, I mean, we were getting after it, and it was fine. And I mean, that was like 5 months ago, and I've been sparring hard just like before surgery since then. So I would say right about 6, 7 months after surgery is when I was like, all right, like I know I can like I've caught some clean ones right on it, and it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, uh, and then like I said, it's been like a year already. So yeah, I would say right about 6, 7 months.
And at what point do you and Sonny and your management, at what point do you guys start actively like trying to hunt down fights?
So we wanted to, because like I said, I was sparring 6, 7 months in, and the doctor said at like 10 months, it'll be back to full strength, right?
Hmm.
So I told myself even, I wasn't even gonna entertain fight ideas until it was back at full strength. You know what I'm saying? By doctor standards, because it wouldn't have been fair to me or my future opponent to hop back in too soon, fuck it up in camp, and have to pull out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want to be I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? No matter how bad I want to get in there, at the end of the day, I want to make it to the fucking fight. I want my opponent to fight me. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the dude that pulls out because of injury and people. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not that type of dude. You know, and this is the type of injury too that, I mean, if I fuck that up again, that's not like oh man, I fucked my shoulder up. That's like you're probably done, bro. You know what I mean? You can't
Yeah.
be breaking like skull bones to the point you need surgery. You know what I mean? That's things that more than once is like no bueno, you know? So anyway, long story short, it was like right when I got to the point that the doctor said it was back at full strength, then I was like, all right, now I'm down to take a fight. Like I've been sparring, but you know, there's a difference between sparring and fighting, obviously, right? Um, so right when it hit that like 10-month mark, I hit up my manager, I talked to Sonny, like, hey man, I'm down for whatever now. You know, I'm open to hear offers. When prior to that, I wouldn't even entertain. You know, if I got because there was a few offers right about like 5, 6 months after surgery, and I didn't even look at the name. I would get a text from a promoter, be like, "Hey, you interested in fighting in 2 months?" And I'd be like, "Nope." And I don't give a fuck who it was. I'm not getting back in there until I know,
Hmm.
until I'm confident, right? Because then I know I'm not gonna train or fight like me if I'm
Hmm.
concerned about my face as opposed to going in there winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a couple offers that came in way too early. Like I said, I didn't even get to the point that didn't ask for a name or nothing. They're like, "Hey, you interested?" I'm like, nope. Talk
Not
to me.
interested.
Nope. Talk to me in 6 months. You know what I mean? But so just being smart with it, you know. And then, yeah, so once I hit that 10-month mark, which was 3 months ago now, I started kind of opening up my ears again, getting back on the prowl, and here we are.
Here we are indeed. Your opponent is Bobby Winther. A lot of people would say it's not advisable to fight a Navy SEAL, but Blake, no fucks given. Perry is going out there, and you're gonna fight a Navy SEAL, which is kind of funny in a way.
Dude, of course, man. Why not? No fucks given. First off, that's cool as shit. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, fuck that. That's cool as fuck, man. You know what I mean? Especially from a fellow military dude. Like, that's cool as fuck. That is dope. And dude, to be honest, I didn't know he was a Navy SEAL until I took the fight. And then you start obviously watching, close footage and fight film and all that. Just like I'm sure he's watching me, right? Yeah, I didn't realize he was a military dude until, let alone a Navy SEAL. I'm like, that's fucking tight, bro. Like, fighting aside, I'm like, that's cool, dog. That's cool.
Yeah, that's
still fuck you, buddy. But no, no, that is cool as shit though. But yeah, I did see. That's cool. He's a Navy SEAL. That's, you know what I mean. Any dude's gonna say that's a cool fucking career field. You know what I mean? That's
Absolutely. I look at Bobby and I like this guy. I like the tenacity that he shows. I like the aggression. I like that this guy is constantly out there and he's looking for that finish. In certain respects, Blake, does he remind you of you a little bit?
Yeah, bro. So like, man, and I've really, really, really mean it when I say this, bro. I don't take fights that people that don't pose a threat. You know, I have no interest. I genuinely mean it. I have no interest in winning my next 15 fights in a row against a bunch of dudes that suck or a bunch of dudes that deep down I don't think pose a threat anywhere, right? And that speaks to Bobby, man. He's a fucking hammer. He's tough as fuck. You know, he's very talented. He's like, you know what I mean? He's well-rounded as shit, super fucking high-level grappler, right? Like outside of MMA even, you know? He's a very, very good fighter. And I've watched him fight past fights in Cage Warriors, and I'm like, man, I like how that motherfucker fights, bro. You know what I mean? He's a dog. He doesn't give up. He's super talented. He's got a lot of hype around, hype behind him, and and like I said, he's a good, talented fighter, and I mean that. You know, that's the reason people should take it as a compliment when I'm fighting him, because he's a bad motherfucker. Because I don't fight soft dude. I don't, dude. I refuse to do it. I won't fight a dude that doesn't pose threats, that's not a fucking killer too. You know, that's why I'm fighting Bobby, because he's a fucking killer, man. And but with that being said, so am I, man. You know, I know who I am. I know what I'm coming to do, and we're gonna put on a banger. Like, we really are, you know. And I'm going out there to fucking do what I do. Every time I step in the cage, he's coming in there. I'm sure to do the same. And yeah, what better matchup, bro? I think it's two gnarly, grimy fucking dudes, you know. And I think what better matchup for not only us but the fans too, man. I think yeah. So no, long story short, nothing bad to say about Bobby, man. He's a fucking hammer, and people should know that if I'm fighting him beforehand, right? Like, oh, this dude's probably really fucking tough, right? Because I don't take fights against people that I don't respect, you know, and I don't think pose threats. And Bobby is no exception, man. He's a fucking hammer, good ass fighter, tough ass dude, and I want a piece of that December 13th, you know. So
What's the key to beating a guy like Winther in your mind? You look at him; he's pretty good everywhere. He's got some submissions. He definitely has some stopping power. Again, like, you have all those things as well. Going up against a guy like this, like, what do you have to do to earn the victory over a guy like this?
So in a way, I like fighting dudes that are well-rounded, such as myself, right? I like that because it's not my camp going into it is getting to my game plan, you know, as opposed to like, I have to look out for this and I have to stop this, and this dude only goes for this, so I have to avoid this, right? That's not how my camp is going at all. You know, I'm going in to do what I'm going to do, you know, because I know he poses a threat everywhere. There's nowhere that I'm like, oh, if I'm here, I'm safe. And if I'm here, he's dangerous, right? He's dangerous everywhere. I'm dangerous everywhere. We're going to go in there and fucking mix it up, you know, and then both just focus on our game plans, I'm sure, you know. Like, I know he's like you said, he's got stopping power. He's a great grappler. He's he's a lot of things, and I'm good in all those areas too. So I think that's what's going to make it a fun fight. And yeah, I'm just, as cliche of an answer as it is, and I know it is, I'm focusing on me, as opposed to specifically his style, because he is well-rounded. He's good everywhere. It kind of is freeing in a way, because that's a lot different than fighting some ex-glory kickboxer who has no ground game. Then I'm like, okay, I'm looking to get here and avoid here, or some super high-level grappler with zero striking. It's like, all right, this dude's not going to try and stand with me at all, right? Whereas Bobby, I don't got to worry about that. I know he's cool standing, he's cool on the ground, whatever, which makes it fun for me too, because now I can fucking mix it up everywhere. You know what I mean? We're both dangerous everywhere. It's going to be a fucking barn burner. I can't wait.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune into the Cage Warriors card. That'll be taking place next month, December, UFC Fight Pass. It'll be a fight that you aren't going to want to miss. Blake, I will ask you, you get the job done against a guy like this that moves you up to 3-1. What are some of your goals that you have for 2025?
Probably porn.
Oh, okay. Like midget porn?
No, I'm kidding. Probably 3-1, 2025. Man, that kind of opens up some opportunities, because even specifically 3-1, if I'm not mistaken, I think that is the opening record to get on to like the Ultimate Fighter house and things like that. The Contender series I know is around that area, probably more 4-1, 5-1, right? But 3-1 is a lot closer to those things than 2-1 is. So in order to make those goals happen, I need to win this fight, and then just one fight at a time, because I do want to make those things happen. I would love to get on the Contender series. I would love to get in the Ultimate Fighter house, whatever it may be, just like any other fighter it's in my scenario would love to get in there. I'm just, yeah. And in order to do that, you got to be active. You got to get wins. And I'm happy to get the fuck back in there, man. I feel like I've been shelved forever, and I fucking miss it, man. You know what I mean? Training is awesome, and I love training. Don't get me wrong. But this past year of just training and no fights, it's kind of a bummer. I like the lights. I like making stuff about me. You know what I mean? you know what I'm saying? I like making shit about me sometimes. So I miss. I'm looking forward to just getting back in there, and this win will be big because, Bobby's a really tough fighter. He's a Cage Warriors dude too. He's like me. I'm just getting signed this fight to go in there. He's a signed Cage Warriors guy, which is always a good opportunity, just to, not that I'm not on Cage Warriors radar, I fought for him, but just for more opportunities like that, for a little more longevity, the best way to get that opportunities with a little more longevity is to beat the dudes who have that, you know what I mean? And Bobby's one of them, bro, and good for him. I just want it too, and I think going in there and stopping a dude like that would, it's only going to help raise my stock. And yeah, man. And I just can't wait to go in there and just show who I am December 13th. And I'm excited to get in there with a very talented and game opponent himself. And that's all I know how to do, man. That's it. I can't wait.
December 13th, Cage Warriors 182, San Diego, California. Make sure you either tune in or buy tickets. It's going to be a event worth watching. Blake, before I let you go, let's go through all the people that you need to thank, anyone that you need to shout out.
Of course, man. So first and foremost, shout out to you, man. Episode 500. It's crazy, bro. Like the first time, what episode was I on first?
It was good. I knew you were gonna ask me this.
Yeah, like single digits.
You were an Emmy when you were on here.
I was. It was like 20.
I think you had just it wasn't even an MMA fight. I think you had just smashed that guy in Nevada, I think.
Damn, good memory. Yeah. Yeah. And no, you're 100%. I know that's what
that was. June of 2021.
Damn.
So I think it was like August. I think it was like a little after that you were on here. So you were actually getting ready to fight Walter Shaw in your last amateur fight.
I was.
So that was the first time you were on this show. So we were getting ready to talk about that fight. So yeah, that was from 2021 to now here we are.
So anyway, testament to you, man. I say it to all the hosts and stuff. Thank you for having me on, but thank you, dude, for being a good friend too, man. You know what I mean? I go to you a lot for not fighting shit. I'm always messaging you about stuff because I really appreciate your input, and I mean that from you as a person, not just a podcast host. You know what I mean? You're a great host, but you're an even better dude, and I fucking mean that, man.
Don't tell everybody I'm nice though. Don't tell everybody.
I won't. He's a dick, bro. No.
Thank you.
He's paying me to say this. No.
Yes. It'll be there soon.
Yeah. Nah, man, for real though. And then, but outside of that, the usual. Shout out to the gym. That's actually where I'm at now. Just getting a little Sunday recovery work, a little lift in. Figured what better place because they got a tripod at the gym too. So figured that was the spot to go. Set up a little tripod. But yeah, shout out to everyone at the gym. Man, you already know the regulars. Got the man himself, Coach Sonny, all kinds of good coaches, man. Got wrestling coach Darius, jiu-jitsu coach Joey, Devin, Devo, everyone, Coach Medali, Coach Sonny, and then the fight team got Amini coming up, Terrence, Caesar, myself, Houston, you name it, man. We got a bunch of good fighters. Jerome, Kanoa, and then outside of that, got to do the classic. All my sponsors, there's too many to list, so I don't want to leave any out, and then outside of that, man, friends and family. My girlfriend Anna, she's always there for me, holds me down. I need that because I am an idiot. So it's good. It's good to have a counterpart that's not an idiot. So
thank you, Anna. We appreciate you more than you know. Trust me.
Yes, right. Everyone needs an Anna in their life. Yeah, man. But that's it. That's all I got. Yeah.
Blake, you're the man. I wish you the best of skill. I look forward to having you back on the program real soon. Thank you for being on episode 500. We'll catch you all next time.